Hey guys, welcome back to Dating Doc TV, where we put a fun and modern spin on dating. Today I have a guest here. Her name is
Victoria. Nice to
and
meet you.
she has a little guest of her own.
Hey, everybody. Come say hi. This is Lorenzo. This is my twin, my beautiful, beautiful boy. He's 6 years old.
So adorable. He's going to be in our audience today as we talk about single parents and dating. That's what we got for the main topic for today. So I just want to remind you guys that we do have an event coming up tomorrow at The Good Kind, okay? It's going to be a singles dating event. So if you want to stay up to tune with our events, you can visit Eventbrite or our website at the Dating Docs. That way you can see our events that are coming up, like tomorrow at The Good Kind, okay? So also stay tuned, especially men, because men will get a half off discount. Okay, I said half off.
Okay there.
For
I see what you're doing.
their ticket to go. We need some more men here. So, men, if you're watching, stay tuned so that way you can get a half off code for tomorrow's event at The Good Kind, okay? So, talking about, single parents and dating. So, how does that make you feel? How does that make you feel? Dating as a single parent, if you're dating right now.
I mean, I don't know.
Are you dating right now?
I am very open. I think I went through the phase of like putting up the wall of like, I'm never gonna date. I'm never gonna get married ever again. As like recently, divorced, you're just like, I don't want anything to do with the dating world. But I think that with that, I did myself more harm than good with putting up all these walls. So now I'm trying to break them down. And I'm trying to just be, open and receive whatever the Lord wants to place in my path. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, then it doesn't. I mean, it wasn't meant to be. I love humans. I love talking. I love interaction. I love connection. So if I feel a connection, I mean, why not?
Oh, those are such beautiful words from Victoria. So just a quick moment here. We're talking about, getting into the dating world as single parents and, the ups and downs they may face. This is also very much related to, Will Smith and the whole Jada situation. They also have kids and they were getting into it about, how she essentially wants a hard divorce. He doesn't want a divorce. He really believes in that, saying that he just wants to, till death do us part. So he's willing to work it out, and she's kind of like, no. And he's like, well, I feel like that's the easy way out, and et cetera. So I feel like, we're going to get more into that later, but I feel like that very much, happens also with just, us normal people, right, that are not in the celebrity world. I feel like that also happens, when you might get married too young, or there just becomes a point in the marriage where, one person's just like, how about I just dip? And the other person's like, well, how about we stay and work through it? And, you just never know, which side each person's going to be on, right? Whether, it's vice versa of like, I want to work on it, but I don't, you know? Or it's, so it's like, sometimes things can get tricky there, especially when there's kids involved, then it's like, what's going to happen here, right? Especially when the kids come about. So we'll get into more detail about that coming up. So, being a single parent in the modern dating pool. Okay, so I was looking into this, and there was some surveys out there that was, saying since becoming a single parent, 48% of people in this poll say that they have a clearer picture of what they want from a partner. Okay, about a third of the people said they appreciate romantic moments more. And then the last part was about like 20% of people, they said they are more willing to date outside their typical type. So, Victoria, do any of those statements resonate with you?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, 48% respondents have a clear picture of what they want from a partner. I mean, do it right the second time. Like, I hope you understood yourself enough to where it was that it fell off and where it was that you need to work on for yourself.
Right.
So, I mean, the more that you have a clear picture of, this is what went wrong in my first go around, so this is what I don't want to happen. So, yeah, absolutely. A clearer picture of what I want from a partner. 34% appreciate romantic moments more. And
yeah, why do you think that is? Do you think it's because there's potentially kids involved and you feel like, sometimes your time can be essentially spent with the kid like all the time, and you're like, but what about me time? Or,
yes, absolutely. I mean, I don't know if it has to do with my sign. I am a Cancer, so I am very like nurturing. I'm very always like taking care of people, and then as a mother, I mean, it just went like full throttle. Like, I'm just so nurturing. I love taking care of people, and I need that time too. Like, I need somebody to tell me, you know, like, hey, I'm here for you. Like, you can put down your walls. You don't have to be, like, I'm in this masculine energy. I'm also in a feminine energy. Like, you're like, I don't want to do both anymore. I want to be feminine. I want to be nurtured. I want to be loved. So, yeah, romantically, I mean, it's deeper. It's a deeper connection the second time around. Like, you want something just, you know, even intimacy, like just romantic, intimate moments. Like, you want that twin flame. It's like, for me, like, now I want that twin flame to come around.
Yeah, those moments are important, you know? You know, that's why they're specifically hiding, like, romantic moments, because it's like, yeah, you know, you spend all your time with your kid. It's like, but where's the love for you?
Right. And, I mean, for a woman, I feel like to shine and sparkle within and, like, her eyes, like, she has to be feeling like a little princess, you know?
Yeah, that's honestly essential. You know, you definitely want those moments of, like, absolutely. I want to be pampered, or, you know, I, you know, want, you know, this kind of compassion, you know, that, you know, the same kind of, like, love, you know, that, you know, you transfer to your kid, but now it's, like, to you.
Right. Especially. So I think that's very important. 23% are more willing to date outside of their typical type. I mean, I don't know. I just feel like it's just an open world, you know? And whether this one can give you a little bit of fun, this one can give you a little stability, like, you just need to pick at different personalities, moments, backgrounds, like upbringings. Like, what are you going to want? And what type is it? Like, don't settle just for a certain type. You know, I feel like I have been trying to go out there and be a little bit more open, but I just can't get myself into that, like, okay, let's have a relationship, or let's...
Right. It sounds like it's definitely easier said than done. And we were actually talking about that last week. We were talking about, like, you know, open-minded dating, you know, and we were, you know, there was a good amount of people that were like, I prefer to date within my type only. And then other people were like, no, I prefer open-minded dating because that means I get to potentially, like, explore different opportunities or different things. And then some people were on the other side of it where they were like, well, I only stay within my type because that's the only thing that works for me. And that's the only thing I essentially like.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know. I think just people should date. Just not try around. Like, you know, get to know different personalities and perspectives. Like, perspectives and their upbringing and everything, just, it can change your view on dating, and it can change your view on what that perfect person might look like to you. You know, maybe one day you thought this perfect person, your other partner, was going to be a certain type, and then you're looking at your boyfriend and you're like, who are you? Like,
you're like,
I never thought to be with somebody like that. So, you know, just
yeah, it's definitely eye-opening, you know, when you start feeling in that mindset of, you know, maybe I do want to try something different, or I want to, you know, explore different things. I feel like being open-minded is very important, but I feel like I also do get the other side of, like, no, I'd rather stay in my type. Like, it's worked for me, and, you know, to an extent, of course, right? So it's like, I guess it comes down to also personal preference.
Absolutely. Yeah. But I mean, you know, I don't know where I'm at right now in the dating scene. It's like hot and cold, and then it's just, like, not there.
So are you single?
I'm single. Yes, I'm very much single. Are you kidding me? Like, it's been a struggle. Like, the connection. I want that typical, like, notebook. Like, I met the person, and it's like, you're the one. Like,
you want this, like, hopeless romantic instant connection kind of thing.
I'm such a hopeless romantic. I hate it. I'm a hopeless romantic. I can never get over it, but whatever. My Prince Charming is coming. I feel it.
Honestly, I feel the same way, too. I feel like it's one of those, like, I want to be in this, like, you know, Princess era, and Prince Charming comes my way.
I do.
And it's like, oh, he came to save me. He came to, you know, do XYZ with me. You know, just kind of like in the Little Mermaid, you know, that kind of whole scenario. I feel like when I was growing up, I really looked up to, like, that story of, like, oh my God, look at Prince Eric, like, coming to save Ariel and coming to marry her and all this. I don't know. I found it super cute.
I love it. I just want, like, that instant connection. You know, like, I saw you and you're the one.
Just like instant flame. So, you know, when it comes to, you know, dating, like, right now, you know, do you feel like you would want to be doing more, offline or online dating?
I am definitely a people's person, like in person. I am horrible at responding. I'm horrible at getting back to people. Like, this is an announcement. Like, it's for everybody. I have too much going on. Like, I'm juggling a lot. I'm juggling, the attention that goes to my son, the attention that goes into my career, the attention that I also need to fulfill myself in my daily activities. So it can be a lot. Your question was if I'm dating?
Not that if you're dating, but if you would prefer doing like online or offline dating. So meeting people in person organically, or you're going to be starting
I'm a squirrel brain.
Swiping mode, like I'm going to start
No, in person for sure. In person, I feel like that there can be like that one sporadical, I don't know, maybe online moment like with Instagram, because I'm not even on the dating apps. I will say there was a time recently where it was like this, they always, they're just always there in your DMs. So I just never look at them. Like, you're like, I just don't pay attention to my inbox anymore. But it's like that one person that catches your eye and you're like, oh, okay, like maybe it can be interesting. Maybe the conversation can keep going. But to keep a conversation with me is like really important. And then if you can hold it long enough, like, all right, then let's go on a date. Let's meet in person. But it's been rare.
I feel like sometimes that could definitely be, the struggle bus is of like someone reaches out to you or for instance, they contact me and it's like, it's one thing to reach out to someone and then, just the initial hi, hello, or you're so gorgeous, look at you, right? It's always, and it's like, but what are you going to do to go past that?
Right, like actions speak louder than words. So then I do commend those men that will go out there in person and just be like, approach you. Like recently, I was telling my girlfriend, where are these men that just approach you? Like, hey, you're beautiful. I'd love to sit down and have dinner with you. Like, that's a connection. Like, they saw you in person. They feel something, like that first glance. Like, you're like, oh, okay. Like, it's like nobody wants to go up to anyone
anymore.
Like
opportunities like that make you feel extra special. I feel like it would make me feel extra special.
Absolutely, it does. So, like, just do it. Men, like, just do it.
At men, she is saying, just be brave. We commend your bravery. Because we really do. Like, if someone did that to me, too, I'd be like, wow, like, you really is like went out of your comfort zone to go up to me, approach me, especially if I was with other people, and tell me like, wow, you're so beautiful. Like, I would love to take you out on a date, or we're at a coffee shop here. Like, can I get you something? And you want to come sit with me for a second? Or things like that.
Brownie points.
I feel like there's definitely some men who are willing to do that, and then there's some that are maybe a little too shy.
Yeah.
And that's okay. That means it's just not for them, right? They'll approach their dating the way that they want to approach it, right? But I do commend men for doing that or things like that. They just kind of shoot the shot while they're already there. Yeah. Like, what? Like, what's the worst, she's going to do?
Yeah, say no. Like, okay.
Yeah, and then if she does say no, and then it's kind of like, okay, well, I tried. I did it. I shoot the shot. And then if she said no, then I'd be like, okay, well, I tried. Because I feel like in that moment, like, if it was me, like, I feel like I would just be proud of myself to like, wow, I did that. I was brave to go up to the person and be like, wow, you're so handsome. Yeah. Do you want to get a coffee with me? And then if he was like, no, then I'd be like, that's okay. I'd be like, it's like I still, put myself out there and asked.
Absolutely.
And I feel like that's what it's about. It's like putting yourself out there, committing to, following up with someone, asking the question, and then going from there, right?
Yeah, and you definitely get this like confidence level within to just, hey, like, I'm confident enough to go up to a stranger and be brave. So, yeah, very, very commendable. And it's good practice to put yourself out there. I mean, I never thought I would be this confident. Like, I had to put myself out there.
That's true. Yeah, and I feel like, you gain experience, you gain bravery. And like we were saying, like, the worst thing that someone's going to say is essentially no, right? But it doesn't mean the next person that you ask will say no. Maybe the next person you ask will say yes, and then you'll go from there.
That wasn't for you. She was not for you.
And that's one of the things I feel like sometimes people fail to realize, like, if someone, like, shuts you down or says no, I feel like it's not the end of the world. Especially if you guys were, like, complete strangers and you didn't even know each other. Like, if there's, like, no history or no background of any kind, I feel like then that's even more of a, if you are on the side where the person says no, I feel like that's okay. I feel like that, like what we're saying, like, that'd be good practice. Like, okay, well, this person wasn't into me, but, someone else might. You know, it's like this approach that I did for someone might work for someone else. You know.
Absolutely. Just keep trying. Put yourself out there. Be brave.
I know it's easier said than done, you know, when we're saying, like, just keep trying and put yourself out there. But I feel like a lot of it, you know, when it comes to dating, also comes, you know, practice of those kinds of things. It's like whether it's approaching someone or asking someone out or, you know, seeing how someone's doing. Or I feel like a lot of it, you know, when you're talking about the initial message, I feel like some of it, too, is about the follow-up, right? So it's not only about reaching out to someone and, you know, getting their attention. Then it's also about the continuous follow-up, right?
Yes.
So
oh my gosh.
Like, especially, you know, someone like you're saying, like, you know, sometimes, you know, I get really busy and I may see a message, I may not. You know, sometimes people need that little bit of an extra, you know, double message, double push. Like, hey, I did say something. Did you see it? Yeah.
I'm a big sucker. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I had to say this. Like, if you have your own activities, your own stuff going on, your own day, like, I understand. I'm a mom. Like, I have my own things to deal with. But at the end of the day, the least you can do is like, hey, this was my day. This is what I did. Hope your day went well. Have a good night. Like, or we'll talk later. You know, like, we didn't talk all day, but I'm still here. You know, let me know you were busy. And I don't think there's enough follow-up. It feels like, I don't know if you just, there's memes everywhere, but it's like when the girl has to send the good morning texts, it's like, and then it was like a masculine person. But I'm like, geez, like, I really feel like that. Like, you know, you feel like connection, and then you're waiting for the follow-up. You're waiting for the follow-up, and you're like, it's there at the beginning, and then it dies down. And you're like, what, where, why? Like,
right,
and then it's the games. No, like,
not the games.
And then they're like, yeah, I'll pull away. And then, do I have to do? I'm like, I'm not going to involve myself in any games right now. It's like, you're there. That's why I say, like, instant twin flame. I need to know, like, where you're at. I'm not saying, like, hey, tell me you want to date me, love me, marry me. But, like, just, like, that's a person. You know, that's a connection. That's a person I want to get to know more about, and then I want to have that consistent follow-up. It's just about being consistent, and I feel like that has just drawn down so much because there are so many options. There is so many mind games going on, like,
essentially, yes. And it's like, I don't want to play no games. It's like, it's either you want to talk to me or you don't, essentially, right? It's what it kind of comes down to. It's not like, oh, let me kind of message you and then kind of stop and then kind of message you and then kind of stop.
Yeah, and that's like, so ridiculous.
And I feel like that's not very considerate of the other person's time or feelings.
No.
I mean, it's like, I feel like if you want to talk to someone, you want to talk to someone, and then if you don't, then you don't.
Yeah,
you know, I feel
absolutely.
Like there has to be some, like, kind of clear boundaries there too of, like, I want to talk to you, so then, you know, like you were saying, you know, actions speak louder than words, right? So if you keep messaging me, keep following up with me, that's how I know, like, this person clearly wants to talk to me.
Yeah, like, let them know, like, oh, okay, you know what, like, this is too much follow-up for me, like, I didn't expect to be, like, on this level. Or this, like, just communicate, like, in every scenario, whether that be work, whether that be relationships, whether that be life. Like, communication has just died down so much because we are just typing. Like, it's different to have a connection. It's different to be open and vulnerable, to be like, listen, I'm going through this, or listen, this isn't what I want. This isn't, just lay it out on the table. A big girl will understand.
Yeah, same thing. Like, so yeah, if a guy, same thing, right? They have their big boy pants on. They will also understand, too, from that perspective. If you're like, you know what, like, I do enjoy talking to you, but I just feel like right now is point in time. Maybe it's not the best, you know, situation for me to, like, you know, either date you or keep going, right?
Yeah,
and I feel like
in this.
And that kind of, I feel like that also deserves, like, commencement in itself, because then now you're being so honest with this other person, like, you know, I do enjoy talking to you, and you're so genuine, and I just want to be, you know, honest with you, and, you know, it's essentially the same thing. It's like, I want to talk to you, but maybe it's not the right time, and I feel like the other person should respect that, you know? It's like, I feel like if you were brave enough to tell me, like, I enjoy talking to you, but it's, like, not right now, I feel like that's also a very respectful thing too. Yeah. Like, I feel like I would gain so much more respect for you for telling me like that instead of just, like, ghosting me or something.
Yes, gosh. Well, I mean, I can't say I've done the ghosting before because I have to, but we're working through it.
It's like, I know it's not the nicest thing in the world, but I feel like sometimes it happens, and it's necessary. And then it just happens. And, you know, it's like, oh, sorry. So, like I said earlier, I wanted you guys to stay tuned for that promo code. So, for men, tomorrow, for our mid-30s to mid-50s group, if you're planning on attending, here is your chance to get your half off your ticket, okay?
Oh
The
my.
promo code is going to be MEN210, okay? The promo code again is MEN210, okay? That is the promo code for you to use to get half off your ticket, okay, for the category in particular of mid-30s to mid-50s, okay? So if you listen to this podcast, you have a chance for half off your ticket. Alrighty, so during this podcast, we like to go over some Q&A answers, okay? So we asked our followers yesterday.
It's clicking away over there. My audience is being noisy. I'm so sorry.
It's like, that's okay. This is an exact scenario of single parent life.
Listen, Linda, this is my life.
So we asked them, are you willing to date someone who is a single parent? Yes, no, and we asked them to give an explanation why, okay? So let's see what they had to say. So they had to say 65% of them said yes, they would, okay? And 35% said no, they wouldn't, okay? So I'm actually kind of surprised here that the majority of people said that they would date a single parent. So I was like, wow. I was like, I feel like I don't know if that ties into, you know, people being a little bit more open-minded about, you know, what's going on in the world. And, you know, that could be something that you run into. It's like, wow, I really, really am feeling close to this person. Spark is here, you know, and it's like, but they are a single parent. And it's like, okay, so, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's varies situation to situation, obviously, but single parents, I feel like they just, some of them, sometimes have their head on straight a lot more than just independent single people. They have a lot more responsibilities. They have a lot more time management. They have a lot more, I mean, I'm not saying like it's just because they're parents. You know, I see some very mature and put together women who are not parents, and men as well. But it is just a different vibe. And then maybe that you're just, the men want a little bit more nurturing, you know, and then as a mom, you're just kind of like always trying to take care of them. So maybe that's why they're kind of maybe changing their views and being more open about it. I won't comment on that. I don't know if, I'm selfishly saying I don't know if I would date another person with kids.
Right, and that's okay because I feel like there's also, you know, people on the same side as you, and I feel like that it's not a horrible thing to think about because when it comes to dating, it's about your preferences and what you want essentially, right? Before anything else, I feel like, you know, one of the biggest lessons I've ever learned in the dating game is that like you got to put you first. Mm-hmm. You know, whatever it is, whatever's happening, it's you first, and then the partner can come next, and you know whatever's happening. So I feel like that's the biggest lesson I've learned. It's like me first. I know it sounds super selfish, but it's like, in the end, it's like when we split, like, who's it going to be? It's like me. It's like I'm still focusing on me, working on me,
right.
You know, working on my goals. You know, once that person's out of my life, they're not helping me with my goals. They're not helping me in my career. They're not helping me, you know, excel. You know, those kinds of things.
Yeah.
So I feel like
and you have to fill your own cup all the time. You have to fill your own cup. You can't depend on somebody to fill it for you. I think the most important relationship that you should have is with yourself and, you know, with whatever spirituality you are. Just having that centered, I think you just can't go wrong with that. And you will feel like your cup is full. Like, I think that's why I don't feel the need to just be out there all the time. Like, my cup is full ever since being so much more, like, spiritually in tune and, like, dedicating myself to personal development, growing, and just being happy and investing in my relationships with my friends, like the gym and everything that I love. So fill your own cup, for sure. I totally agree with that.
Those are some good words from Victoria here, making sure we still feel centered with ourselves at all times. So thank you guys for responding to our poll. So we're going to go over some of these answers. So we had plenty of responses, okay, but I only picked a handful. But thank you guys for answering. We appreciate what you guys have to say. I'm going to go over them right now. Okay, so just a reminder, the question was, are you willing to date someone who is a single parent? Yes or no, and explain, okay? So we have here, one male said, I would date anyone who I feel I can progress with in my life at the moment, parent or not. How does that resonate with you?
Yeah, I mean, it goes back to, you know, I don't know what he has in store for me, what the person is like, if he has kids, if he doesn't have kids. I feel like if it's that connection, then you're just going to know, and you're going to take the person for who they are and what they have. So, yeah, I mean, parent or not, just somebody who you can do life with, whether that's being funny, you know, serious, building a career, like your dream, just that life partner, someone you can do life with. And I mean, if they have kids, if they don't have kids, so be it. I guess you'll know in the moment.
Oh my gosh, stop, Victoria. You're going to make me cry over here. It's like she's giving her words of wisdom over here. Oh my gosh. You're going to make me cry. Stop.
I've been through a lot for my 25 years.
I was like, okay, we're going to move on to the next response because I don't want her to make me cry with the things that she's saying. So going on to the next one. So this time a female said, she said, it's okay if the kids are grown. When their kids are young, you do not get quality time together. So this person's saying they're okay with dating someone if their kids are older. I'm assuming maybe probably teen or up. And then, but this one's saying, I guess if they're probably teen and below, maybe not. It doesn't seem like she thinks that they're going to get lots of time together. What do you think about that one?
It's okay if a kid's grown. When their kids are young, you do not get any quality time together. No, I don't resonate with that. I mean, I think it just goes back to my first statement. You know, if that person is your person, he'll make time or she'll make time. You know, like with my son, I've had to go, I've gone on dates. I don't know if they've gone all that well, but you feel that connection. You arrange something, and I think it's important. Like going back to filling your own cup, you have to have that. Like if mom's happy, everybody's happy, you know? So like if you have to go fill your cup with, you know, having that different conversation, putting yourself out there with a different perspective and just having a genuine conversation, I just appreciate that a lot more in life. Just meeting different people and what they've been through and where they are, because you might learn something from them, you know, and then they'll share it on and they'll pass on that little wisdom and you'll take it with you with that next person.
Exactly.
So I don't know, just young or not, I just think if she wanted to, she will. And if he wanted to, he will.
Right. That's what I think too. You know, it comes back to the whole like effort thing. It's like, if
Absolutely.
they want to, they will. If they don't, they also will express that.
Absolutely.
In some way or form. So
absolutely.
Another female said, I might not be able to relate to conflict regarding the children. I also have different views since she lives life childless. So she doesn't have kids.
Mm-hmm.
So how does this resonate with you?
I might not be able to relate to conflict regarding the children. I also have different views since I live life childless. I don't know. I don't know.
This is kind of a tough one, right? So I feel like this person is trying to get into that maybe if there's any kind of conflict, like regarding, I guess, the kids in a sense, that because she doesn't have any, that she's not the best person to like relate to, or that she'll not have the best maybe like advice, or she might not act a certain way. Because it's like this person has kids, so this person probably has a good understanding of like how to, you know, do conflict resolution with his kids, etc., right? And she's probably like, well, I don't have kids, so I am not going to be great in that department. So she's probably, it sounds like
she doesn't want to date with kids.
Not that she doesn't want to date with kids, but I feel like
what's going on here with Miss Linda?
she sounds like she might be open to the idea of dating someone with kids, but then she's also not, because in the case that there's conflict with the kids, that I feel like she's like, I'm out. That's what I'm getting from the statement right here. It sounds like, you know what, if like, you know, if everything's kind of perfect and, you know, everything's going fine, maybe the kids are older and they're like, oh yeah, Daddy's dating another person, here she is, right? And they like accept her really quickly and etc. I feel like then if that was her, she'd be like, okay, fine. But I feel like if there's ever, you know, conflict with her or the kids, or her and the kids, or her and the original kid's mom, then I feel like maybe that's when she's like, actually, maybe I don't want to be involved in that. That's what it sounds like this person's going with.
Well, I don't know. It sounds like, oh, y'all have services, don't y'all? For coaching? It sounds like she needs coaching. Yeah,
I was
like to figure out where she is, because, I mean, I just, my statement just goes probably for all of these comments. It's pretty.
For sure. I was like, yeah, so maybe this person maybe doesn't want to date with kids. That's okay. It's not for everyone, right?
Yeah.
So let's see.
And it's not. It's not for everyone. I mean, it's not, I don't know if it's for me, you know? Like, and I'm a mom.
And that's an honest response. You know, people, I feel like they can relate to that too.
Yeah. Like, it's a lot. It's a lot of responsibility. It's just different. And you have to be very centered in life, I feel, or that just has to be your calling to, like, know what you want and just want to have a big family and want to have, like, kids from everywhere. I don't know. Like, I don't know if I would be open to it. Like I said, I'm not stopping anything and I'm not bringing anything. I'm just riding the wave.
You're just seeing where things go, for sure.
I'm just riding the wave.
This next person said, this is another female. She said, no, financially and time drain. I hate to say it, but there's going to be alimony or child support. And that's massive.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's for, so a female was saying, another female said no, financially, time.
And so she's saying, like, no, I won't date a single parent because of this, because of the potential alimony and child support.
Yeah, I mean, well, for a man, hopefully, if you're doing it right, you know, you're paying your child support, you're supporting your son or your daughters or whatever it needs to be. And now with the economy, a lot of times you may not have that extra, scrapping up that extra cash to, like, take this girl on nice dates, or the last thing you want to do is take away 100%. From your kids' money to just go and impress this girl to go on a date. Like, it's such a struggle, like, as a parent in general, to, like, balance that, because you're going to put in so much into your kid, but then you're like, how much can I put into myself, and then without feeling guilty? You know, but I think, first of all, like, absolutely, if the man is 100% responsible, he's doing everything that he should. I mean, I don't know, girlfriend. She has a good point. She has a good point.
Okay, we had 2 more responses. So another male said, everyone deserves a chance, and they could be single because of the stigma. So, like, the stigma revolving, like, dating a single parent.
Oh, I was horrified. Let me tell you, like, when I was getting separated, I was like, nobody's going to want me as a single mom. Like, that stigma's so real. Like, people are, and then so young, too. Like, I separated at age 23. I'm 25 now. But I was like, I'm so young. I have a child. Nobody's going to want me. Nobody's going to take me in. And now I'm just like, hey, I can make my own life. Like, I sustain my child, so who's going to come in and, like, be a part of it, but support or, like, supplement and grow together? Like, it's just so different now. But absolutely, in the beginning, when you have that cabin fever, when you have that low self-esteem that I had and, like, zero confidence, I was like, what am I going to do out there in the world? Nobody's going to want me. Like, I have to work. Like, it's overwhelming. It is very overwhelming. But yeah, now that I'm in this spot, I'm just like, we're all human. And we're put in this earth to be loved and to love. So we need it. You know, and going through so much personal development, changing my mind, changing my body, like, my soul being more connected. It's just like aligning for me to be centered, you know, and that I don't really care. I don't really care what they think, like, that stigma. Mm-hmm. I mean, now I'm okay with it. You know, that's my life. Like, I had to come to terms, it's my life. You know, so.
Beautiful words once again. Like,
oh, stop.
I was like, I mean, I feel like that is important to think about, like, the stigma, like you're saying, like, the stigma is very real, and you do feel it, but I feel like there's also a point when you also realize, like you just said, that this is my life, and I'm going to make the best of it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the best you can do. After going through, like I said, so many different lives, it feels like. I've been using my resources of personal development, talking to people, asking for opinions, asking for perspectives. And I'm so open in receiving everything that, you know, you just find your way and you find your light. But I absolutely think you have to go through that journey by yourself, and you will feel like you're at your lowest low, but you're starting from zero, so you can only build from there, you know?
Honestly, 100%.
So, yeah, that's my thoughts.
Alrighty, we got one more response, okay?
Tell me.
So this, another male, okay, to finish it off, said, not raising kids that aren't my own, and the kids will always come first. So I guess this male is saying that no, he's not going to date a single parent because if they have kids that aren't his, he's like, no thanks. And then he's also saying that the kids always come first. So he probably also feels like in that situation that like he's never going to get the full attention.
Well, let me just say this on that. I've picked up that maybe in a male situation, they feel like a woman just wants a man to come and supplement the dad, like fill in that dad part. But I think that, you know, for children, the dad is the dad, the mom is the mom. So you're not coming in to supplement anything in my life. You're not coming in to be a dad. You're coming in to be my partner. You're coming into my life to build something, build a future, build a connection, and have that good example of what a man should look like to my son. Not necessarily you're going to be the dad, because he has a dad. And the children of single parents, the dad should be very present. The mom should be very present. And they should always understand that it's one mom, one dad. You know, the other partner that's going to come into their life, it should only be the support system that maybe they just need, or that advice, or that friend that they can go to. I honestly wholeheartedly wish and hope that I find somebody that my son can get along with as a friend and genuinely share conversations that he can't have with me as a man, you know, but also that man being somebody who loves God hard, like has good ethics, has good morals, and has good perspective to be able to share onto my son. So I think that's something to very like notice and separate.
100%. She was just giving all you men pointers right now. If you didn't catch on,
I give you all the answers, and y'all don't listen.
She really did. She gave you all the answers, all the pointers, everything that you wanted to hear. She was basically putting it on a silver platter of what she wants, essentially. So thanks for your response. You're so genuine and so kind. So I mentioned it earlier. We were talking about, you know, the Will Smith and his wife. You know, we were talking about that pop culture moment. You know, it ties into single parents and, you know, splitting, separation. And, you know, in one interview, they were talking about that he recalled the moment that she filed for divorce during a Red Table Talk in 2018. So she just kind of, like, threw it out there without, like, really saying it with him first, essentially what he was getting at.
Oh, so she threw the divorce out on the table?
Yeah, like, literally on the, like, Red Talk table. She was like, I want a divorce. You know, and he was, like, obviously in that moment, he was very, very, like, flabbergasted because he was like, I had no idea that she's at least going to make like a public announcement of it, per se. And, you know, so he was saying like, she hit me hard.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, talk about a train hitting you.
He was just
Poor
like,
guy.
he was like, ouch. He's like, I told her like, no, you can't have a divorce and she hit me. So you're going to make someone stay with you who doesn't love you. And Will Smith saying like, I'm actually not. Nope, I'm not. You know, and that was the one that got me, he said. Like, so he was essentially saying like, in that moment, he just felt like completely, you know, thunderstruck, like, whoa. I mean, I can't believe she's saying it, like, out loud.
Yeah.
You know, and it's very conflicting, you know, going to what we're talking about. You know, there's, like, two sides to every story because she was saying also in her interview recently, like, that they have technically been separated for, like, I think it was, like, 6 years or something. She's like, so we're not divorced, but we've been separated, and to the public eye, we've just been making it look like we are together. And I feel like that's also hard.
I feel like that's so common, though. Like, that is so common in relationships. The people that are going through divorce, they make it feel and seem like so real, like everything is good. But then behind closed doors, there's like a storm. And then 2 weeks later, oh, we're getting a divorce. But then there was so many issues from like a year or 2 years ago that I mean, you just don't talk about, you know? But I don't understand why people want to make it seem like everything's fine and dandy. Like, just separate.
Yeah, I feel like it's also like, you know, a touchy subject too. So like being, you know, completely unbiased situation of them. And so it's like, I feel like also, you know, real people that are not celebrities have also been in this situation, right? And I feel like, you know, some people are on the side of, you know, I really want to work this out till death do us part, right? You know,
Right.
and then some people are like, no, I'm just ready to like stop, like hard stop right now. And I feel like that's, you know, that's also very hard, you know, to be in that fine line of, I want to be the one to help, and so then hard. The other person's like, I'm just ready to stop. And it's like, how do you cope well with someone who's like, I'm ready to stop, you don't even try, like, I don't want to try to mend things with you, like, just, I don't love you, just, let's just stop. And the other person's like, no, like, let's work it out, like, what is it that, you know, is making you not love me, or what is going on in our lives that you don't like, you know? And I feel like it's like a very hard situation to be on, especially if you're the person that's not the person that's like, I'm ready to dip. Like, if you're the person that is like, I want to help you, I want to help us, I feel like that's more of like the struggle bus than anything. It's like, how
like, where did I go wrong?
Yeah, it's like, how does that make you feel, you know, as a person when you want to, you know, stay in it and help, and the other person is like, sorry, like, there's no help here. Like, there's nothing you can do. Like, I'm ready to dip. Like,
yeah, no, I definitely commend both of them for it, because, I mean, him putting in all the energy and trying to have the family together it's draining. It's very draining. Like, I can speak for that. I won't go like too in detail, but I mean, I was just always fighting to keep the family together. Like, I was always fighting to just, we can do this. But Jada, she knew what she wanted, so I commend her for that too. Like, she knew when the hard stop was, and a lot of times us as women or as men, like, you don't know when that hard stop is, when it's like, hey, look, like, it's done. Like, we need to cut it. You know, so nobody knows what's going on behind closed doors. Nobody knows who's right, who's wrong, and what traumas they all went through in their own personal lives. And are they going to go through personal development? Are they going to change? Like, I think I commend them both. It's a very difficult situation to be in, especially with kids. But again, nobody knows what's going on behind closed doors. And sometimes you just need that person to just, that's it. We're done here, you know, and that's a blessing in disguise. For me, it was.
Right, it does work for some people. And, you know, I know that relationships can be, you know, a roller coaster of emotions, you know, up and down. And I wanted to remind you guys that here at the Dating Doc, we do offer relationship and date coaching. Okay, so
really?
If you're new
I think I need some.
to what this is, just, you know, a brief synopsis is date coaching is the process of, you know, improving the success of clients in their dating or relationship lives. It combines one-on-one counseling in the field of coaching, ebooks, online resources, and more. So if you want more information on this or booking a session, please visit our website at thedatingdoc.com. Okay, it also gives you also a brief explanation there of what it is for prices and for booking and for, you know, what it is essentially. So if you're interested in those kinds of services and I think that they apply to you, we definitely offer them, okay? So,
thank you.
Moving on. So, you know, you were just literally, you know, talking about it right now, you know, and I just wanted to also ask, like, do you feel when it comes to separation and divorce, like, do you feel that is the easy way out? Like, separation or divorce is the easy way out? You're like, you know what? If I just say divorce or let's just separate, you know, like, all my problems are solved.
No, I think that is the hardest decision. That's the hardest way out. Like, there's so many things that come with getting a divorce that's emotionally.
Like, whether you have kids or not?
Yeah, whether you have kids or not. But obviously, if you have kids, like, it would be a lot easier if I didn't have a kid to just snap out of it quicker. But, I mean, yeah, we need statistics for how many people stay together because of children. And I think that's not the best way to go. Like I said before, happy mom is a happy life. So it's really a difficult way out. You're going to have problems your whole life. If you have a baby daddy, you can't just cut him out of your life. Like, he will be there forever and ever. Like, you didn't have kids, like, fine, you can just, like, never talk to this guy again. But no, right. It's like you have this resentment. You have this, I don't want to talk to him. Like, I just don't want to see him. And I just don't want to, but then you have a kid, so you have to. And you're like, ugh, like, it brings you down. And then it's like waves. And then it's like, so it's definitely not the easy way out. Because when you do divorce and separate, I feel like that comes with personal development too. So you're going to look at yourself and say, where did I go wrong? What did I do? Where, like, what do I need to work on?
Why me?
Yeah, why me? Like, it's horrible, but like I said, when you hit rock bottom, I feel like that's just when you're born. And you can just go from there and just acknowledge what went wrong and start working through things and grow and build something, you know?
Honestly. So it sounds like you kind of already answered this question, but so do you feel like if no kids were involved, this decision would be easier or less messy?
Yeah, less messy, 100%. Like, the custody, this weekend and that weekend, and I want to do this, and it's just a headache. And then a lot of times, you know, you don't have that personal space. Like, you're separated, but the other parent, like my ex-husband is very involved. Thankfully, very thankful for that. He's a great dad. I can't say anything bad about him for being a good parent. Very blessed with that, and my son is too. But, you know, there comes a time when you need to put your boundary up of, this is my life, and this is where I need to have my privacy. Like, not just calling the other child of, what are you doing? What are you doing? We're here. Like, I don't want you to know what we're doing 24/7 anymore. You know, like, I want to have that private moment with my son, with my life. Like, he's still there, you know, just cut it, you know?
Like, give me some space sometimes.
Yeah, so 100% less messier. Like, if I could just cut it off, never talk to him again, I would absolutely do so in a heartbeat.
You'd be know? Like, and then I'd be that.
Yeah, like, peace out. But no.
And lastly, I wanted to tell you, so when do you think that there is no point of return in marriage? So, like, you know, is it cheating? Is it no more attraction to one another? You know, too much bickering? Like when do you think, like, you know, I think this is the time, like, this is the end?
I definitely feel that when respect is lost, that level of respect that you can't get back. Ugh, I don't know why my voice is cracking. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's just so big. Like, when somebody disrespects you to that level, you just build this resentment. And you're like, can I ever forgive you for that? You know, and it's like, can I ever go back to seeing you as the person who's supposed to take care of me the most, who's supposed to love me the most, supposed to make me feel like a princess, is the one hurting me the most, is the one, like, disrespecting me the most? I think that's when you're like, it should have never come to this point, you know? And that's what I think I came to a big realization is, I don't think you should ever get to the point where the respect is lost or where you find out what that person is made of in that way. Does that make sense? Like, poking the bear, or, like, if you ever see that side of the person, it's just not there. You know, like, he should never disrespect you in that way. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%. It's like, there's, like, this point of return where you're just feel like, it didn't have to come to this point. You're like, it didn't have to come to this kind of, like, anger or kind of resentment, you know, but here it is, and I saw it. And now I am forever changed because I saw that in you towards me, and I didn't like it. And that can be a very, very tricky and a very heartbreak situation, too. It's like, I felt like you were being, you know, all these things for me, and then this happened, and now I feel like I'm not the princess anymore.
Yeah.
I don't have the spark anymore.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm at rock bottom now. You know, I don't feel like I am, you know, that shining light right now. Like, you know.
100%. And that's like you described my situation to a T. I was just, you know, everybody sees me now, and the people that have been following me through my journey, they've seen how much I've grown and how much light I have like gone through my eyes, and I even see it within myself, like with pictures that I used to have. I keep them because I'm like, this is this is what you looked like you didn't have light before. But it was that person that just dimmed it, you know. And now going through personal development, going through like therapy and all that stuff, you should never depend on a person to dim your light. But it takes some hard, like strong mental challenges to be up there and to be like, oh, I'm not going to let you affect my light. You know, you have to be at such a high frequency, at such an understanding of who you are, confident level, like everything, to be able to say, I'm not going to let you dim my light. So when you don't have that, which was my situation, you're like dead. It was like, no, really, like my aunt saw me and she's like, what is wrong with you? Like, you look dead inside, like lifeless. And I can see pictures and, you know, the whole transformation. And when I came over here and people were like, what are you doing? Like, you just look so happy. Like, you just look like you have so much light. Like, you just, whatever you did, like, whatever you changed, like, keep doing it. And those people, like, thank you so much, because every single one of those messages had me keep going and had me don't dim your light. And
support is real.
Yeah, support is so real, from community, from friends. You know, I didn't have that as much from family. That's a whole nother topic, but I'm so grateful that I had my friends and, you know, my followers who would message me, and they saw it. Like, it's living proof. It's my testimony, you know? So that's big. I don't know if I went off topic here, but
no, everything you said, that was totally spot on. And I feel like people can also relate to, you know, the things that you were saying. So I feel like, you know, everything you're sharing can, you know, be insightful for people who are watching or people who will watch this later. So, you know, so thank you for all those thoughts and getting like so personal with us. So I feel like that's also, you know, this is an example of bravery right here. She's coming on to the show and she's talking about her feelings. She's talking about her experiences. And I feel like that's also, you know, you deserve like a little medal right now. Because this is also very brave to come up here and, you know, speak about your feelings and speak about your experiences. I feel like that's also important, you know, to let other people know like what you have gone through. Maybe they're also going through it too, you know, and they can, you know, pick off some advice that you've been sharing today.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I can only hope that this inspires somebody to get their light back and that sparkle and that shine in their eyes, because it's different. You smile differently.
100%.
It's important.
But she's shining on camera today, and she has a beautiful light with us. The lights, her beautiful face is here, and also presenting herself very well.
Seriously, like, your hair is bomb.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay, so last thing, Victoria, I just, you know, just what are some 3 quick things that you would like to share with our audience and your followers? You know, like, what do you feel like there are 3 things that are the most important lessons learned or things to avoid, you know, when we're coming up in the sum of, you know, dating in the life of single parents?
Yeah, I mean, for sure, always put your child first. You know, you're a parent, and that child is always going to need you. Work your way around it. You know, be very mindful of your schedule, and also be very mindful that, again, you have to fill your own cup and you have to find your own light. And if that's looking like you have to date and you have to get a babysitter and go have that conversation. Like, that's just going to get that itch out of you, I guess you could say, of wanting to meet this person or putting yourself out there. Why aren't you deserving of love? Why aren't you deserving of a second try? You know, we're only human. We're put on this earth to love and to be loved. So you know, if you don't have that partner, if you don't have that person yet, I think it just makes it better. Sometimes people are just meant to be single, which is fine too. You know, they love themselves and they love their cat or their dog or whatever it might be. Dating isn't for everybody, but you're human. You definitely deserve love, and you definitely deserve to put yourself first. So acknowledging that your child comes first, yes, but you also are right there next to him. Happy mom, happy life, right? 3 times. I don't know. It must be important.
Yeah, I was going to say, she said it a lot of times. I feel like this is another thing to highlight here. Happy mom, happy life.
Yeah, absolutely. And dating can be lonely. I mean, not dating can be lonely. Like I said, we're always nurturing. We're always the parent who's there. We're always, you know, trying to make everything just be okay and put yourself together for them. And you need to break down a little bit. You know, you need to go cry every once in a while. You need a good hug. Like, we need hugs in our lives, like, so many times a day. I love hugs. I cannot tell you how much I feel like with just like squeezing my friend, or like I see somebody and I squeeze them, and it's just like that fills my cup, you know? So also just acknowledging the fact that we also want to be nurtured. We also want to be loved. You know, we're human. We need that, you know?
I know. This is, once again, beautiful words, and, you know, everything that you're saying, I feel like it resonates with someone in some capacity for sure. So, like I said, I commend your bravery for speaking with us today and to your followers about how you're feeling and your experiences. So with that being said, I want to thank you all for joining us tonight. I hope that you enjoyed watching and maybe you learned something new, right? From a perspective of a single mom right here, a single parent. So I just want you to remember that one of the ways that you can support us is by donating, right? So keeping us connected here at the Dating Doc. If you want to be a sponsor, you're interested in donating, please look at our page and figure out how we can help stay connected. And just a reminder, we do have a event tomorrow at The Good Kind, okay, at 7 p.m. Yay. Just a reminder, all the men out there that are in the mid-30s to mid-50s category, you do have a promo code for your ticket to be half off, which is MEN210, okay? Just one more time, the promo code is MEN210, so that way you off your ticket tomorrow at The Good Kind. And with that being said, my name is Nadia, and this was Victoria here today as our lovely guest. We hope you guys enjoyed.
Thank you so much for having me. Seriously.
Tune in next time. We love having you.
Thank you.
See you next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.